Hey everybody, Star641 here, and welcome to the next movie of the month of love and heartbreak. For this one, we are taking a look at my top 12 favorite couples. To explain something right now, the reason it is a top 12 is because I kept forgetting at least one couple, and I did not want to disinclude them. Seriously, I've had to change this now 3 times. Originally it was a top 10, then it was a top 11, now it's a top 12. I'm keeping it top 12 now. Simply put, these are my favorite couples in anime. Now, for me, they don't have to be a couple for very long. They could be a couple for as long as the first episode or as fast as the last episode. I do not care as long as they are a couple by the end of the series. Now, please note a few things. One, choices for me were ranged from the chemistry they showed together, length of time they were together, and how much I liked the characters, and just how they interacted as a couple. You probably already know which one is number one for all those reasons, because it's probably the most predictable one you could ever have. I'm not at least going to keep that a secret, but I'm keeping the rest of them a secret. Well, until I announce them, so it's there. Sorry. Anyway, let's start with number 12. Number 12. Yukino and Arima from Karin Kano. Besides my very big misgivings with this series, I actually think the romance was done fairly well. Yukino and Arima aren't necessarily the best couple I've seen, but they're, an anime at least, one of the fastest to become a couple. Only about 4 episodes long before they became a couple in a 26 episode anime. And I'm gonna say, I really like Yukino. That, and it's helped that she is voiced by Veronica Taylor, which was actually, and it was a good Veronica Taylor performance before you ask. My misgivings and the reasons it's number 12, though, are Arima himself, and because of that, the chemistry is weakened, as his English voice actor is one of the absolute worst I've seen, and because of that, it hurts the chemistry a little bit. I recommend the Japanese dub in this case, but then again, that's just me. And Yukino and Arima are my number 12. Number 11. Max and Miria from Robotech. Now, these two share a very interesting dynamic. Miria is a Zentradi soldier, while Max is a soldier with the human Robotech Defense Force. Initially, they started out as enemies. So, there's that. But when they first meet, they meet in an arcade. Max is very interested and instantly attracted to her, while Miria is focused so hard in the line of battle. And battles them in an arcade, and guess who wins? Max. I like Max, by the way. Later on that evening, they turn out to fight, and then a few hours later, I think they have like a kissing scene, and there was no romance. This is like one of the quickest romances ever, but the execution for it, and you get to see the wedding for it, so they're a married couple. Yay! Also, one other thing to mention is how they go afterwards. They're the only couple in Robotech to have a child that I'm aware of. And she becomes the main character in the second of the 3 arcs, which is kind of awesome. So, overall, I really like Max and Miria because of the chemistry they have together. Moving on. Number 10. Yuichi and Ayu from Canon 2006. Now, admittedly, Yuichi I still don't have a great opinion of, but when him and Ayu are together, when he's not teasing her, they are pretty damn sweet together. I really do admit that this couple is not the best out there, and there are at least 9 better, but it is quite nice to see them, though they don't get together till near the end of the series, which kinda hurts the experience. One thing I also really liked about them was their first kiss together, which was more of a grief kiss, which are the most heartbreaking kind. See Shirley and Luges from Code Geass Season 1. In any case, I really like Yuichi and Ayu as a couple. Moving on. Number 9. Shauna and Yuichi from Shakugan no Shauna. Okay, this might be a minor spoiler, and by minor I mean major, but they don't get together till the very end of the series, and you should expect with my videos to see spoilers all over the place. Honest to God though, I really like this couple because of how they changed the other. Yuichi viewed himself at first as a regular old person, but thanks to Shauna, he became much more confident and much more badass at times, albeit for some good, not so good reasons, and he also fell in love with Shauna. Shauna went from a very cold person to a very caring person thanks to Yuichi. And their chemistry is pretty good. And they sometimes fight like a regular couple, which is kinda nice. And it shows that it's not all fun and games. In short, I feel it's realistic. Honest to God though, I really like Shauna and Yuichi. Moving on. Number 8. Ed and Winry from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Now, you probably would be surprised since two of my favorite characters from Fullmetal Alchemist are so low on my list. Why would I do something like that? Well, to put it bluntly, Ed and Winry don't actually get together till the very end of the series. So yeah, spoiler alert. Other than that, I really like this couple. I think they had a great dynamic. And even before Winry realized she was in love with Ed, was very caring and kind towards him. And Ed vice versa, except I think Ed was always in love with Winry, but would never admit it. My personal opinion. The reason, again, that they're number 8 is because they don't get together till the very end of the series. But that doesn't stop them from being on this list, and that does not stop them from being number 8. Number 7. Asuna and Kirito from Sword Art Online. Okay, for Sword Art Online fans, I'm sorry I couldn't put them any higher. I really do like their couple. Hell, I put them higher than the FMA one. But I admit them getting together was very rushed, and I think it could have been handled, and their interactions together could have been handled a little better, or there could have been more of them. Then they would have been much higher on my list. That aside, though, where Sword Art Online does fail in a lot of things, this is one thing I will admit to saying I would disagree. I really like the romance between these two. They do have great chemistry together, and they got together for survival's sake at first, and then generally fell in love. Now, you could argue that Asuna is just another tsundere, but I think she's one of the sweeter tsunderes if you're asking me. And Kirito, while not the best character in the world, I do like him. Overall, I love these two as a couple, and I really do hope that will never change. Moving on. Number 6. Amagami SS's Haruka and Juichi. Okay, before anyone mentions... Wait, didn't you mention Juichi in the last countdown? Yes. Yes, I did. Juichi is... Amagami SS is unique in that every 4 episodes or so, they switch between their love interests. Juichi goes up with another one. I find this both a hit and miss with it, but when I eventually review the series, I'll get more into depth of why I think this concept is both a good and bad thing. But for now, we're looking at Haruka and Juichi. Haruka is, well, kind of the tease. Unlike some other characters, she's not a tsundere. No, those go to Tsukasa and Kaoru in other arcs. No, she's the tease, and she's very playful. And I really like her outgoing personality. But once she starts falling in love with Juichi, after his second confession to her, she finds herself very insecure about these feelings as this is the first time she's ever felt them. So Juichi doesn't help that he's a kind of an idiot, as I also mentioned in the last countdown. So by the time he confesses the third time, she almost gives a very bad way of saying that she loved him because she was upset and felt very insecure and felt that he didn't love her anymore. For more details, watch the series. I actually highly recommend it. So they do get together on Christmas Eve. Also, F yes, Christmas Eve. Why do you think Amagami SS ended up being one on my Christmas countdown? So, yeah. Overall, I like the chemistry together. And before anyone asks, yes, I will mention that if it wasn't Haruka, it would have been Tsukasa. The only reason I didn't include Tsukasa is because I didn't like her at first. Or just because, well, I preferred Haruka. It's nothing against Tsukasa. Consider her and Juichi an honorable mention. Either way though, this is my number 6.